that's not right. Whatever. I have to get myself on here. That's better. How you doing? One and all. God bless you and welcome to the Temple Report with me, your guest presenter, Jim Dawson. I don't know why it's so dark in here. I've got a big light above me. I've got light shining on my face. What if that made a difference? No, you're blind by a difference. No idea. Don't know. Anyway, welcome one and all. Let's have a wee word of scripture so we can get into this today. Because we've got an interesting show, I think. Anyway, apologies from Nick yesterday. He had problems with his computer. He had no his computer, his house signal, for the thing. So he couldn't get the show on. Sorry about that. Anyway, hear ye the Lord. We're in Psalm 83. Psalm 83. I'm starting from the beginning of that psalm. Hear ye the Lord. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Amen. And we know the Lord will add his blessing to this, the public reading of his infallible, inspired, and inerrant word. And the people of God said, amen and amen. Indeed. And for that fine Bible back there. Wonderful stuff. How are you all? Well, this is ridiculously dark in here. I don't understand it. Manny, do me a favour. Put them lights on the fireplace on. Oh, dear. White sticker, the first one. Well, that row, but the first one in that row. Yeah, that's it. Don't know. It's not made much of a difference. I've no idea why it's as dark. Anyway, still haven't made these things very big. Who are we getting here? Mitch Cameron. Mitch, how you doing? You and Sherry. God bless you. Westover 1314. Brother Ewan's in. How you doing? Anthony H. Christopher Strid. How you doing? John Coppersaki. Tom Hirdenfeger. How are you, sir? Roland Santos. How you doing? Andy Lightman's there. Troy, Florida. How you doing? And who else is there? Everybody's here. Good. Nice to see you all. An interesting show today. Interesting show. We shall go through it and see what we think yet. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on, as we know in the world at the moment. But, we'll just go through some stuff and see. I wanted to show you some of the stuff that's going on in Glasgow, because, we've been very instrumental. And as you know, the headlines last week, well, this week, I should say. Was it this week? Last week? I don't know. There's more in this week. Somebody, Grant sent me, one of your brothers in Scotland sent me something. Where is it now? He sent me a minute ago. Seemingly another paper's on a story. Where is it? I'll just tell you where it is right now, actually. Oh, there it's there. Look at this. Can you see it? Look at that. That's me. I'm young there. My goodness, I'm a young boy there. That's when I first started with the pro-life stuff. Yeah. And they were against me then because they thought I was a Catholic priest. Oh, you can't win. Life and Times of Scotland's most prolific far-right rabble-arouser. What do you think of that, Marion? I'll repeat that because I like rolling my R's. No, what folk can do that. They can't do that in Ulster. Ulster people can't roll their R's. Life and... Look, see, it's a picture of me way back in the Precious Life days. Life and Times of Scotland's most prolific far-right rabble-arouser. That's me. That was good. We done a big conference when we launched the pro-life group. And a lot of my Catholic pro-life friends come over from Dublin. They're all wild fighting guys. Devout Catholics, but fighting boys. And the left, the hard left, the Antifa turned up to try and stop us. And they burst their way into the hotel. I can tell you, they really, really regretted that because our Irish pro-life boys mangled them. And I'm doing the press conference with the whole of the country's media, and I could hear all this thump, thump, boom, boom, ah! In the background, there was a massive brawl going on because the Irish boys were defending the room, and a very good job they did. So well done, Youth Defence. God bless you. And I've always got a soft spot for them because they were very kind to me. They were very, very kind when we were starting the pro-life. They were very kind, took us under their wing, supported us morally, physically, financially, spiritually, everything. Excellent, excellent people. And a special thanks to an old lady called Mrs. McNahuna from South Dublin. Very, very dear friend of mine. Lovely people. God bless them. Anyway, there we are. Okay. I'll see if Brother Ewan's in there. Brother, throw a few links up if you don't mind for the Priory. and for the street patrols, because we really need to help these boys. So here's the thing in Glasgow. Now, the language is appalling, because Glasgow working class people are very rough. But this is we've got to work with. Now, when we do meet these people, we do try and clean their act up a bit, and we do tell them, look, knock this swearing in the head and this screaming and shouting. You need to be more dignified. But look, nobody's helping them. It's very easy for us educated people and people who are in the Christian fold to look down our nose and cast aspersions at these very poor working class people who have never been to church maybe in years. They're uneducated. Nobody's helping them. So it's easy to judge them because of their language and their behaviour, but we shouldn't be doing that. We should be reaching out to help these people. Never look down on a man unless you're looking down to take his hand to pull him up. Remember that? An old Jesuit. Remember old Father Thwaites, the old Jesuit priest? Remember him? He was a prisoner of war with the Japs. He's an Anglican, became a Catholic. I think I would as well, to be honest with you. But he always said that. If you're looking down on a man, only do it with one purpose, to grab his hand to pull him up. So remember that. So I'll show you this. It's a bit wild, but have a look. The people in Glasgow have just had enough of this nonsense. Have a wee shifty. It's big, and this is every night now in Glasgow. This is every night. Different parts of Glasgow, people are just getting out in big numbers and saying, we don't want this anymore. Get these people out. Because remember, their kids have got to play in those streets. Those kids have got to be let out because they live in these flats, the projects. The kids have got to go out and play. But how can you let your kids out and play when there's all these Somalians and Afghani men? Can you imagine? Imagine putting yourself in that position. It'd be horrible, wouldn't it? And then your poor wife or sister or mother's frightened to get out of the house because these people jump on them. Do you know what I was telling you the other day there? A 60-year-old man was raped in church grounds the other day by some kind of African. A man. An Eritrean. Where is he? Eritrean. An Eritrean raped a 6-year-old man. And then a couple who were out on their first date were held at knife point. Well, 2 men, foreigners, raped a woman. Oh, I tell you. So we really need to help these boys. We need to be helping these fellas with the street thing. So there you go. There's the Priory. Big Ewan will put a link up for the street patrol stuff as well, because we really need to help these boys. Seriously, it's very grim. It's very, very grim indeed. Anyway, for my American friends, I wanted to show you something, because this is all pointing in one way. The Americans, excuse me, a terrible cough the last few weeks. The Americans tend to look at Europe and think, oh, Europe's finished, but we're okay. Well, I just seen a guy who was one of the high up ones in ICE, and he was saying, I think it was ICE, or was it the Defense Department? Don't know, but he was saying he reckons there's up to 100 million people in America that shouldn't be there, but nobody's daring to speak about it. Now, I knew the official figures, there's 26 million people in America that shouldn't be there, have no right to be there. 26 million. This guy's saying it's at least 3 times that. That's a worry. But if you just look at the demographics that we know about, and of course, illegal people aren't included in the demographics. So if there is 26 million or 70 million or 80 million, these figures are much worse. But America tends to look at Europe and think they're finished. Listen, you're in the same boat. It's just been hidden from you. So have a wee look at this wee video here. It's quite frightening, that, isn't it? It's just, I'm just trying to work it. Got it. So right now, America is just about 51% white. And that's not including the folk who are illegal, who they're not included in those figures. So you're in a very, very, very bad way, America. And you're talking about, in the next 30, 40 years, white population could be 30%. And a lot of that's Mormons and Amish. It's quite frightening. Yep. It's quite frightening. John Kopasaki says the number is low. Right now we have over 40 million illegals. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And that's 10% of the whole country. Wow. Yep. Well, see, when this is an official American guy with uniform and everything, he was saying 100 million. I thought, cannot possibly be right. But if I'm saying 27 million, John Kopasaki saying 40, maybe this guy who studied it in great detail, maybe he's right. Maybe it's right. So that figure would be way off. I mean, America would be something right now, about 30 odd percent, 32, 33% white, and almost 70% non-white. This is terrifying. This is bad because, you know, America's the bastion of, a bastion of freedom. If America goes, we're snookered, we're really up the creek. There's no other new worlds to go to. Where our ancestors went to America to make a new life, there was somewhere to go. There is nowhere else to go now. Good brethren and sisters in today. Yes, of course. We had others usual absentees. 2 Brian's yet. Ken Wood. Yep, absolutely. Don't know where they are. They might pop in. But that's what I'm saying. The title of the show is we head towards revolution or we head towards anarchy and chaos. I don't know. I did a talk. Again, I forgot it. What am I doing? I videoed it. I done a talk at the weekend in Belfast, and I was talking to the people down there, working class people, and I was explaining to them about the contractual obligation, you know, the social contract. In case you don't know what it is, I'll tell you what it is. The social contract is basically we, as a group of people, get together and form a country. From our numbers, we elect an executive who can be replaced every 4 or 5 years. So when we formed the country, part of that forming that country is normally always in violence and blood. You had the Revolutionary War. You formed a country, and then you say, right, okay, we're going to run this. So people get the mandate, the vote, they get the vote. But there's, you know, people who have already shed blood to form the country as part of that. And we have a contractual obligation that we, the people, we will defend this country. We will lose our lives if necessary. We will go to war for this country. We will work hard. We will obey the civil authorities. We will pay our taxes and we'll be good boys. We won't behave like savages. We will try and keep everything again. That's our part of the social contract. For the government part, who are meant to be our representatives, they promise to give us preferential treatment above everybody else who comes to our country, because we're the people who built it, we're the people who died for it, we're the people who sweated for it. So we will get preferential treatment always, and they will help impose fair and just laws and fair and just legal systems to protect the people, and so on and so forth. And this country's welfare state as well. They'll look after you if you've no money, you're elderly. So that's the social contract. The government, the establishment, the executive get their part to play. We, as citizens, good citizens, we've got our part to play. When that social contract breaks down, it's big trouble. Now, if you're a student of politics and geopolitics, as I am, an amateur, mind you, any time in the history of humanity that social contract is broken down, right going back to the Greeks and the Romans, but especially in Europe, anytime that social contract has broken down, or the people feel that it's broken down, anarchy and revolution results every single time without fail, every single time. And I think we're very close to it. I think we're very, very close to it, to be quite honest with you. I don't think we're far away from it. When you see the lunacy that's going on right now, have a look at this. This is middle class, you know, high earners, white woman. What on earth is going on?
Ready? Hey, they are ready. They are ready. Hey, all right. I don't even need to do anything anymore. They are fucking ready. All right. Okay. Nice. Hey. Okay. I love that. Let's go. Give your energy. Let's go. Hey. Give us more.
I mean, what is that? And these are very common things. Women go to these things or they do that primal screaming. Just look at it again. These are your teachers, your university professors and all this. Look at these nutcases.
Ready? Hey, they are ready. Hey. All right. I don't even need to do anything anymore. They are fucking ready. All right. Okay. Nice. Hey. Okay. Okay. I love that. Let's go. Give your energy. Let's go. Hey. Give us more. Give us more. Give us more.
You see, they should never have shut the asylum, should they have? This is insane. This is insanity. These are crazy. And then you've got this big case on right now, I think it's in New York, where a woman strangled her 3 kids. And everybody's saying it's not her fault, it's her hormones. Okay. Men have got hormones. We've got a hormone called testosterone. And it makes us do crazy stuff. Makes us be very fruity with women. And it makes us violent. So that's like a man who's just murdered a few people saying, look, it's not his fault. Guy, come on. His testosterone levels were up, you know. A guy who's been molested or raped a woman. It's not his fault, guys. Come on. He's not controlling himself. His hormones are playing up. We've got hormones just the same as women. We never use them as an excuse for a bad behavior. But this woman strangles her 3 children. And it's not her fault because her hormones are playing up. Not really when you see like these mad women here screaming and shouting and bawling and doing the primal screaming and all that. It just seems to be now we've just made an excuse. Women can do what they want. And I'm telling you, the decline of the Western society, really, you can trace it right back to when women were given the vote. Because women, if you look at, I think somebody showed us the other week there wouldn't have been Democrats in power for about the last 50 years in America if women didn't have the vote. And there wouldn't have been a Labour socialist government in this country since 1928 or something if women didn't have the vote. Because women tend to vote Liberal. They tend to believe everything. It's craziness, you know. It's craziness. So I had my own sister on the other week saying, why did the papers write that about you? I mean, why did the papers do this story about you? I says, because they're left-wing scum. She says, no, that's a generalisation. Well, you tell me then why they wrote that. I don't know. I'm wondering if... there's that nice link there. Let me grab that again. You know, they're just very gullible. And I would go biblical on this. It was Eve that ate the apple, not Adam. Well, he did, but, you know, it was Eve that was deceived, not Adam. So we have to be very careful with this type of stuff, don't we? It's crazy. Not my woman, of course not. There are exceptions to the rules, of course. But finding a good woman is no easy. But I tell you what's doing it with a lot of these women. If any of you used to breeding dogs, or you get a lot of dogs around about you in your life, well, you know, and I know, that if you have a young bitch and she doesn't get a litter of pups, they go a bit, don't they? So that dog needs a litter. That dog needs to be covered, as we call it. You know, the dog needs to have a litter, or else the dogs tend to go a bit mental. It's the same with women. So it's really frightening. But this is all part of the chaotic thing. Now, let me see what I'm looking for here. Across the world as well, there's another phenomenon happening that's interfering with our lives and as a grave threat to our freedom, our faith. It's church burnings. Canada's really bad for it, but it's happening everywhere. Church burnings. Yeah, we had a big convent burnt down in Downpatrick. Some of you guys were next to Downpatrick Cathedral. Huge big convent burnt to the ground. But this is happening all over. Have a wee look at this. I'm just trying to read some of the comments here. Hugh de Costello, if they don't have a litter before 7 and you don't get them dressed, yeah, they can get pia mentra. I don't know what that means, but I think it sends them mad. Yeah, but you see, I mean, they're burning the churches down all over. Every country in America it's happening as well. I mean, who's doing this? Now, a lot of churches are getting burnt in Canada, for example, by crazy left-wing activists. Remember, the left-wing and the Muslims work hand in glove. So they're burning their churches down now. Yeah, that's what they're up to. It's quite frightening. Craziness. But everything's all about confusion. And remember, the extreme Jewish Talmudic Jews, they believe that we are called Edom. The West is called Edom. That's all the West Europe, America, Edom. And Edom must be destroyed before the Messiah comes. And people say, oh, it's Jesus. No. They don't believe in Jesus. They think there's a Messiah coming. So it'll be this man, the son of perdition, that man of sin, who will sit in the temple. And that's what a lot of these crazy American Christians say. Well, the Jews are waiting for the Messiah to come back. But that's good because it'll be Jesus. No, their Messiah will be that man of sin, that son of perdition, who will sit in the throne sacrificing red heifers. Yeah? Galatians, remember I did it in a sermon not long ago there? He will be, is it Galatians or Thessalonians? I can't remember. I think, maybe 2 Thessalonians, Galatians. I can't remember, but if you watch the sermon, you'll know. So this man will sit in the throne. He will be called the son of perdition. You know, and many people, because he will do great signs and wonders, and he'll fool people. So this is, and who's going to fool? Is he going to fool us? No. He'll fool you? No. But all those mad Christian Zionists, bang, they'll suck it up. Give me more of this. Even although it's blasphemous and they're sacrificing red heifers in the temple, when Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say? It is finished. One sacrifice, once and for all. So to be sacrificing bulls and red heifers is a gross blasphemy against the personhood and sacrifice of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Do you understand? But these nutters, these Christian Zionists, they're all marvelous. The only people who won't be fooled in the Christian world is the Orthodox, the Roman Catholics, and the Calvinists, because we all know what we're talking about. We'll be like, no, this isn't right. But it's all going towards this great confusion because the mad Talmudic Jews want to destroy the West by any means possible. And if you look at cultural Marxism, the long route through the institutions, Kalergi plan, all of that, it's just destroying the West by destroying the family, destroying the church, the nuclear family, destroying the childbearing and the kids, filling our countries up with foreigners, destroying our race by race mixing. It's all planned. And it's all for a reason, to destroy the West. And it's happening very, very quickly. So I'll show you a wee bit of this. It's actually very interesting. If I can find it, what do I do with it? Aye, and one of the big things I mean on him is this trans movement at the moment. Now, you've got a guy here called Professor Winston. He's the guy who invented test tube babies. He was the hero of this country for 40 years. He's a big professor, and he was the most eminent bioethical man in the whole planet. He's traveled America. You've maybe seen this guy, even though he's English, but you've probably seen him in America. He came up with the whole test tube thing. He's a reproductive specialist, the guru par excellence. Nobody in the world can touch this guy. And he was the darling of the British media until he started telling the truth. And here he is telling the truth, and they don't like it. The woman interviewing him is a rotten, horrible woman who hates me, Nick, and Jada. But here he is, Professor, I can't remember his first name, but Professor Winston. We can hear this. I think he's a sir as well.
I'm about to say something that will mean that you'll probably want to edit the programme when I finish. But basically...
Right. Okay, we're all braced for it.
I will say this categorically, that you cannot change your sex. Your sex actually is there in every single cell in the body. You have a chromosomal sex, you have genetic sex, you have hormonal sex, you have all sorts of different kinds of psychological, brain sex, they're all different. And we are very confused about this, unfortunately, and regrettably, it's got into this argument that people are now, will now accuse me of being transphobic.
Oh, look, there are trans people who say you absolutely can do that.
Well, unfortunately, you can't say this publicly. This is one of the big problems. Even saying this on this programme undoubtedly will result in my getting a huge amount of hate mail. It always does. But I do think it's a big issue about the attitudes. There are, of course, issues which are important about young people who are confused about their sex, but we won't go down that route here. But it does affect a whole lot of issues in schools and elsewhere in our society. Of course, we should accept people as they are. Overall, I think it's a very sad thing that we can't discuss biological science without actually getting completely caught up emotionally with something which is really completely wrong.
Well, as I say, there are people who would vehemently disagree with you, so I'm just going to make that clear.
Fiona Bruce, that's And his name is what's it? Robert Winston. I mean, he's the world's preeminent biophysicist, or whatever you call him. And she's saying, oh no, people would disagree with you. The guy's just explained, like a Galileo maybe years ago, the earth is round. And we go around the sun, and the church at the time says, burn them. You know, it's nonsense. The man has just stated a scientific fact. She's saying, well, there's people who would vehemently disagree with it, as if they've got a valid position. Of course they would. There's people who still think the earth is round. It's craziness. It's craziness. Rather than say, well, there are some people who disagree with that, but, you know, obviously you've explained it from a science point of view. So these people don't believe in, first of all, the lefties and the liberals broke away. We don't believe in religion. God is dead. Do you remember the old Nietzschean saying, God is dead? Okay, they don't believe in God anymore. So they're into evolution, they're into this, they're into that. Now these very same mad lefties have drove themselves crackers, and now they don't even believe in science anymore. And if you know anything about Friedrich Nietzsche, his father was a Lutheran minister, and he rebelled against God, so he'd have nothing to do with God, and he started with his Nietzschean stuff, you know, a load of nonsense. And he finished his life miserable and totally insane because he suddenly realised, with a great intellect, he suddenly realised that his father had been right all along. And he'd wasted his life chasing smoke, chasing an illusion to come back to this place where he realised God is real. I am nothing, and I will die. I will return to dust. Dust from when I came. I shall return. And that's what drove him mad, and he died a madman, a lunatic, with syphilis and all the rest of it. So these people who rejected God at the Victorian age and the turn of the 1900s, we reject God, God is dead. Now, and they said, what did they say then? We are men and women of science, not of faith. That's silliness, blind faith, that's silly. We are modern people, people of science. Now, 100 years later, they're neglecting and rejecting scientific facts or reality. They're saying, no, there's 172 genders. That was a few weeks ago because it could be 200 by now. It's insane, isn't it? This is all the chaos that some people have deliberately stirred up over the years to destroy the West, and it's working. And this is why I'm saying people going about the Jews, the Muslims are the biggest threat ever. Really? You don't think crazy white liberal women are a big threat? You know, the most dangerous people in the world right now to babies are white middle-class women. White middle-class women are the biggest threat to babies on the planet. And I've spent years in the pro-life thing, with Catholic groups, evangelical groups, everyone. I've spent decades out in the streets, and very seldom do you see a poor working class girl going to the abortion clinic. Never, because they're like, what does it matter? Just another kid. It's always the white, middle-class, professional woman, even lower professional. They don't want it to interfere with their job, or they're very beautiful and they don't want it to interfere with their looks, or their husbands told them, I don't want kids, you're just for me, and da-da-da, and I need your income coming into the house, and I need you to look good on my arm, and this kind of, and that's the people we used to see day after day going into abortion clinics. Never a poor girl from the projects. Very rarely, not never, very rarely. And even when we did come across the poor girls of the project, we would speak to them as advisors, not allowed to go near the clinics now. We would say, please don't do it, we can help you. We can help you. In this big house we've got here, we've used that for many, many pregnant girls, for shelter, emergency shelter, you know, and we'll use it again for emergency shelter if we need to. We'd say to them, look, we can help you. The poor working class girls would say, oh, can you? Yeah, don't kill your baby, please. And they'd say, oh, I don't want to. And they'd be quite easily turned away from the abortionists. The middle class career women, hard as nails, no way, my choice, boom, boom, boom. And away they would go into the abortion clinic. It's very tragic. There's my pal Brian Hope. And how you going, John? Brian Hope, how you doing? And John Gobasaki says, urgency don't actually fight a war for our freedom. Well, maybe in your country we did here. We've just finished a war fighting communism, and it's still going on running about. In fact, I've got a wee thing of this. So on this day, whatever it is this what day is it? 27th? I think it's the 27th. So on this day in August, right, during the Troubles, which didn't last, it lasted 20 odd years, here's a map of everybody who died this day. Remember, there's only 1.5 million people here. If you scaled up the Troubles in Northern Ireland to an American context, wait a minute, I'll just do it for you. 4,000 dead multiplied by your 200 times bigger than us, multiplied by 200. So 800,000. So if you wanted to scale it up, call it 1 million, because I was a bit low in the figures there. We would have lost in this Northern Ireland 1 million dead and about 10 or 12 million seriously injured, and another 30, 40 million a bit injured. If the troubles in Northern Ireland had been transferred to America, you'd be looking at 1 million dead Americans and tens and hundreds of thousands of people horribly maimed. Can you imagine it? Yeah. Well, here's a wee map showing you on this day who was killed and where they were killed in this tiny wee country. I mean, this country's tiny society. It's not much bigger than New York City. Have a look. Quite powerful stuff, and it hovered over one bit for a while. That's not because the map was wrong. It was 18 people killed in one day. There was a bombing, and everyone was injured, and when people came to rescue them, they put another bomb off. So it was 18 people killed in one wee bit in one day in August. And I remember it very well. I was sitting in a car in London when it came through. The 18 people had been killed, and then Lord Mountbatten, who was the Queen's cousin or something, he was killed on a boat with 2 kids. So yeah, I know what you're saying, John, but this is why maybe I rub people up the wrong way sometimes, because I'm very intense. I'm very intense because I've just come out of war, and most of these go to war in their own countries with uniforms on, and we're away for maybe 2 or 3 tours, 3-4 years. We're away at war, if that. Our war here lasted 25 years. It's not over yet. It's quiet now. It's quiet, but the war's never over. But we were in an active war for 25 years. There was one person killed every 2 days. Every 2 days, somebody get killed in this tiny wee country. And as I say, if that was scaled up to an American figure, it would be 300 people every 2 days, or 150, 160 people per day. it was truly horrific. But that's why I'm a very intense wee guy. That's why I'm very intense. I'm very straightforward, and I'm very, let's get this done. Let's stop messing about, because I spent my life in this, and life isn't funny, and I can see the dangers of what's coming. And also, I've got an aversion to violence because I've seen it enough yet. I don't like it. But sadly, there's times when you have to take up the sword to defend what's near and dear to you and your faith. It's one of those things. It's horrible, horrible stuff. And like me says, may all the victims know on Ireland. Absolutely, yeah. And you've seen those names. They're Catholic and Protestants. You know, they're killing each other. Complete lunacy, mental cases. I don't know what was wrong with us. I don't know if we were on drugs at the time. I've no idea. But no more of it. No more of it. No more of it. You'll never meet anybody who's more ferociously anti-sectarian than me. Well, I'm not anti-sectarian because now we're against Islam. That's another religion, so we are sectarian. But this the Brothers Wars, no. Never again. Never again. Never again. It's crazy stuff. How you doing, Scott Phillips? How you doing? Nice to see you. Good. Anyway, very interesting that, wasn't it? Those good old respectable Kennedys. Oh, the Kennedys were up to their eyeballs. And let me tell you who else was up to their eyeballs supplying the weapons into Northern Ireland, and the support was the Kennedys. Joe Biden. Yep, Joe Biden and Tip O'Neill. Do you remember him? Tip O'Neill. He was involved. He was up to his neck in as well. Tip O'Neill, Joe Biden, all of them, the Kennedys, a whole heap of them. Because it was socialist progressives fighting us, the retarded, backward, hillbilly rednecks. That's banjo players. That's what we used to call us. Banjo players. If one of your people gets shot, they would say, another banjo player's dead. Really? Anyway, it's different now. The country's under a different form of attack now. So that's how I'm a bit forthright. Now, there's some stirrings in England. But I want to show you this bit of film. You've been a long film, but I want to show you. This is New Zealand. The world's went mad. This is what I'm saying. It's all going towards chaos. This is New Zealand, where a bunch of Christian Maoris. I didn't even know the Maoris were Christian. I mean, they're aggressive Christians. So Christian Maoris tried to stop a Sikh, Sikhs from India. So there's a load of Sikhs trying to do a parade in somewhere in New Zealand. And the Maoris wanted to make a peaceful protest at it and show them we're not frightened of you. But let me tell you something. This is why we need to know. I know one of your brothers got told off the other day there because he was talking about death to all the Arabs and whatnot. Iranians are the Arabs. Somalians are the Arabs, you know. And Sikhs are the Muslims. Sikhs are Sikhs. They hate the Muslims. And the Sikhs are a very fierce and powerful race of people. They're all big lumps. They were in the British Army. They actually saved our bacon when the Hindus rose up and the Muslims rose up. The Sikhs actually saved us. So I like Sikhs. But I like them better in the Punjab. I don't want them here. And I'm sure the Maoris don't want them in New Zealand. So here's what happened. And this is incredible. This is actually incredible. And it's a wee bit of a good spirit because the Maoris are fierce warriors. So have a look at this. This is fantastic. I hope this gives you a wee bit of encouragement, a wee bit of heart, because it's all doom and gloom in it mainly. But have a wee look at this. This is great. Where is it? What's happened to it? Shush, dog.
Jesus Christ! It's the God! Oh my God!
Wait, really? Well, what do you think of that then? You've seen that. I can't stand that. I carry on. Well, it's no next level corny if you're a Maori. I agree with you. White guys doing it is absolutely ludicrous, but the Maoris doing it, that's an actual ancient war dance. And I tell you, the Maoris are no mugs. They can fight. They're one of the best regiments that ever served the British Army. Look at the Maoris. They're brilliant. But anyway, it's a bit mad. It's crazy. So there you go. Good stuff. No, the pagans work. I know, but listen, it is, but all the t-shirts, where they go on it? Jesus is Lord. They're shouting at the beginning of their rant. There is only one Lord, there's only one God, and it's Jesus Christ. Did you not hear them at the beginning? So we all have a bit of pagan history in us. We do things like Hogmanay, and the Scots do that, and some of the stuff we do goes back to their ancestral stuff. But these people are hard-line Christians. You heard them. There is no God but Christ, and only him must be worshipped. So they're going against the Sikhs. So let's just keep that. I don't know how he's missed that, but anyway, maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe he's only watching it. But it's good. It's very good indeed. So there we are. I thought something. Let me see what this. What is that there? Oh, have a look at this. This will worry you. Again, it's all part of the degradation and dismantling of our Western culture. And bringing chaos, just bringing chaos to our shores. Have a look.
Islam says any woman who applies perfume and she walks and men find her scent, her perfume fragrance, she is a zaniya. She has committed fornication.
Being on YouTube and all that stuff, I would not encourage any sister to do that at all. The fact that she's not showing the face, but we know that the voice of a woman can be manipulated and is awra. Sometimes the voice of a woman can be tickling of desire.
Even if the sister is niqab, she will put some makeup and also her hijab, nice brand. Okay, this is fitna.
She, for example, refuses to have intercourse with him. He's allowed to hit her. You can lie to your spouse.
So, for example, if one says, I sense that you've got a second wife, can he say, no, I don't?
Yes, you can. You can say that.
You can say that.
I personally believe this is... the Prophet said you can do it.
Generally, in classical Islamic thought, it is taken for granted that a Muslim man can have up to 4 wives at once. In addition to the 4 wives, he can have an unlimited number of concubines, which refer to women who are basically have slave status. When they are owned by her master, a woman owned by her master has to freely give herself to the master. The master has the right to have sexual relations with her.
That she is punished and she is no. And according to the Sharia again, when it comes to women, there must be a hole dug in the earth, in the ground, and she must be covered up to half of the body, so that her satar does not appear.
I mean, can you see that? Can you see that flying? I mean, it's not going to happen, but again, it's all part of the chaos. It's all part of the lunacy. It's all part of the unraveling of the fabric of our society. That's what they're at, these people. That's what they're at. Let me put this wee link up again, folks, see if you can help us out in that. Okay. That's what they're doing. And it's very dangerous. Now, you just seen that the Maoris out there standing up to the Sikhs. But in England, obviously they've been watching all these big band parades and loyalist stuff here and all the marshalling, marching about with the flags, which is impressive. I show you it nearly every week. So you've seen that. It's very impressive. Yes, I'm sure you agree. Well, there's a couple of English guys. We've spoke to these folk, but they're too daft. They're neo-Nazis, right? English neo-Nazis. And they've decided to put together a militia. Yes. At long last, a militia has risen. Fine 8-stone weaklings have risen up with their wee prepubescent moustaches and formed a militia in England to guard the English people from the Mohammedans and the Sikhs And the Somalis and all them other skinnies who are vicious brutes. This will send them, when they see this will send them scurrying back to the desert hellholes they came from, frightened with their tails between their legs. Feast your eyes on the saviours of England. Have you seen this? You could say, well, Jam, come on, at least they're trying something. I could say that, but no, these are only 13-year-olds. These are grown men. That guy in the second row, he's needing slapped. Absolutely shocking. Compare that to our men marching here, our boys, our girls marching here. Compare that. It's absolutely pathetic, isn't it? It's just bonkers. The whole thing is... Let's have a look. Sorry, the wee guy at the front shouting the orders, the wee guy over on the far end, he is actually he was in the army, I can't imagine. But anyway, he should left, right. You know, obviously he's not been in the Scottish regiment, because he would say, ready, quick, march. And that's how you do it. That's how you do it. My grandfather was an RSM, a regimental sergeant major. A horrible wee guy. He was a wee skinny guy. He was only about 9 stone, but he was a horrible wee creature, but he was a regimental sergeant major. He was like that guy, is it Platoon? When he comes in screaming, the guy shoots himself. That was my grandfather. He was a horrible, horrible, vicious wee man. But that guy's been in the army. Left, right. I mean, if you gave me an afternoon, I could drill them boys. They'd be much better drilled than that. That's a disgrace. I wouldn't even put a camera in here. Imagine filming that. What must their enemies think? Dear me. But they're Nazis, you see. So we wouldn't offer them help. If they came to us and they weren't the Nazis, we'd have said, no problem. We'll put a big US Marine or a big British paratrooper down there for 3 or 4 days. You just feed them, give them some beer and keep away from them because they're quite volatile and violent. Don't speak politics because you're liable to bite your face off. But he'll train you for a week and you'll be smart, marvellous after it. But we won't deal with them because they're Nazis and we won't deal with them. We don't like Nazis. That's it. It's just crazy, isn't it? Lions and tigers. I know it's frightening, isn't it? The girl looks the toughest. Troy. There was 2 girls there. Both of them were the best marchers. And you're right, both of the two girls looked tougher than the rest of the men there. I use that word men very loosely. I'm sure they're well-meaning. But they're following a half-wit. The guy that runs that group is an absolute half-witted buffoon. He wears a trench coat, he's got a wee trim moustache, and he wears the trench coat. He tries to model himself on Adolf Hitler. I mean, seriously, come on. Are we getting serious about this or what? Nietzschean, Andy Lightfoot, Nietzschean philosophers, that's exactly. Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's exactly where they're coming from. And it's sad. We would like to reach out to help these people, but we can't get involved with these folk. We just don't want to involve them, you know. It's craziness. We don't want nothing to do with it. So that's where we are. Now, before we go off, what's that there? Oh, I'll quickly show you this. This month is Edinburgh Tattoo, where they have a big thing up at Edinburgh Castle. If you ever get the chance to go, and I know Roger Madison travels about, I'm surprised he's not been. Maybe he has been. It's absolutely an event of a lifetime. Have a look.
Out of the womb of time and dust of the years forgotten, spirit and fire enclosed in mutable flesh and bone, came by a road unknown the thing that is me forever, the lonely soul of a man that stands by himself alone. The ancient war horn cries from the loneliest place, a call to gather another, and the blast of two will travel much further, with twice the power to conjure, to summon the leaders of the mast. Here they are, with martial majesty, the drum major's hall. Over the sea, rocked in the deep, to the high places of the field, until it finds the piper brave, the one to stop. The lonely piper leads the way, and hope his answered call.
Whatever. I didn't realise that was so long. They not even started yet. Eventually, I looked at it, it was about 8 minutes. Oh. Anyway, eventually, about 500 pipers all come out and know much about there. That's Edinburgh Castle in the background and all that. It's a spectacular. I'll show you a better one next week. I'll get a better one for that. I didn't realise it was so long, Tom Edinburgh. I hope some of those events in person one day. Oh, Tom, you've never seen anything like it, my friend. Honestly, I'll get a clip next week, right? When you see those bands coming out there, there's like 500 pipers and that castle in the background, and there's a lone piper away up, and it finishes when the bands all leave the castle. Spotlight goes away up to the top of the turret in the castle, and there's a piper standing there. There's full Highland stuff. Tom, you've never ever seen it in your lifetime. It is something you must see once in your life. Put it in a bucket list. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. So yeah, let's help us finish this priority now. Somebody says, do not dare show this. But listen, we've seen a lot of doom and gloom there, right? We don't need to get down about it. We're God's chosen people. We're washing the blood of the Lamb. We're God's people. So don't get too down in the mouth about it. Yes, chaos has been deliberately injected into our nations. Yes, the fabric of our societies is falling apart, and it's going to completely come apart. We just have to live up. We just have to live with that and realize it and plan accordingly. That's why it's important to get this place done. That's where we are, and there's nothing any of us can do but that. Christ is still on the throne. God is still reigning from the heavens. Make no mistake about it. The blood of the martyrs is still there, and the banner of the martyrs will be raised when it needs to be. So don't get too down about it. Anyway, I've got a really funny video now. People are laughing. I got to say, I don't like crude humor. I know the Americans don't like crude humor. I really don't. I don't really like crude humour very much. Swearing doesn't bother me because the odd expletive escapes these lips now and again. I can tell you because I'm a fiery wee mad Scotsman. But I think I've just showed this because I've got to tell you something. I don't laugh that often, right? And somebody showed me this the other day, and I've got to tell you, I was in serious pain. Me and Marion, weren't we? I know it's silly and it's juvenile. I know that, but listen, we're normal people. If you don't have a laugh, you crack up with the stuff we're dealing with every day. But this made me laugh harder than I've laughed for 20 years. And you might think, Jimmy thought you were a serious guy. What are you doing laughing at that? Well, I don't know. Let's see if you laugh at it, or do you think Jim's outrageous and send a letter of complaint to Brother Tiglesi? Get him off the show. He's went mad. Have a look at this. I never laughed as much in all my life. Have a look. And then we'll finish up with a nice thing at the end. Hold on. Have a look at this first.
Oh, fuck. Damn it, Tyler, I knew you brought that. I fucking knew you brought that, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Sam, what'd you put in here? What the fuck did you put in here? Let the swamp work. What the fuck?
What?
What's that doing?
I know we shouldn't laugh. It's silliness. It's total silliness. And probably Bob, the minister, will give me into trouble when he sees it. Me putting that nonsense up. But I've never seen anything as funny in all my days. I've never seen anything as funny. So beware wearing these dress-up suits. Somebody could put that horrible flatulent spray in amongst you, and then you'll know all about it. But anyway, John Kopasagi, he's a serious man. Even he says, hard not to laugh at that. I like the Tyrannosaurus because that was a husband and that was a wife spraying that stuff in. He went completely mental, didn't he? He lost it. But anyway, laughter is the best medication. Yeah. Yeah, Tom says an interesting thing and a very deep thing. We need truth to make proper decisions. Tom, you're 100% correct. I don't come on here every week to depress you guys. I really don't. And don't think I do. I'm a doer, Scott. I know that. But I don't. I tell you these things because, as Tom rightly said there, we need the truth to make informed, grown-up decisions of what we do in life, because this ain't no joke and this ain't no dress rehearsal. Serious stuff. So I'm going to leave you with a wonderful hymn. Well, it's a piece of classic Catholic sacred music. It was actually stolen from the Vatican, if I remember right. After the Reformation in the 1500s, this was composed for the Sistine Chapel, for the private mass for the Pope every day. And he listened to this every single day, and it was secret. Nobody was allowed to take it. It wasn't allowed to be played anywhere else. And in the 1700s, you could get in and listen, and Handel, who was a Protestant, one of them dirty old Protestants, but he was a musical genius. He went in and listened to it. And this is incredible. He remembered every note, and he came out, wrote it up, and then it was released to the world. And you know something? I'm awfully glad Handel done that. Else we wouldn't have been able to enjoy this unbelievable, beautiful piece of sacred music that was sung for hundreds of years in the Sistine Chapel. And it was a way of reparation for the sins of the church. It's Psalm 50 or 51, Lord, forgive my iniquity, blot out my iniquities. And Psalm 51, Sammy informs me. Thank you very much. You should be a minister one day. Let's pray he is. But yeah, so it was reparation for the sins of the church, and that was sung every single day in the Vatican and in the Sistine Chapel. It's wonderful. So I'm going to leave you with this. God bless you all. I'll see you all again if the Lord preserves me on the Lord's Day. But remember, until then, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Do his fault.